You know, it seems like Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis can really do no wrong these days. I recently tested the Hyundai Sonata N Line and it blew me away as an awesome option in the affordable sports sedan segment. Today I'm driving the Kia version of it. My name is Omar and today I'm test driving the 2021 Kia K5 GT. Now, I've already tested the K5 before, but that was the GT line and it only made 180 horsepower. This one here is the real GT, and this one here makes 290 horsepower, and it's quite a bit of fun. Now, I know a lot of people are confused by the way Hyundai and Kia are doing the whole naming thing with the N line, GT line, N, and GT, but I think if you look at the two brands separately, it's a little less confusing. Funny thing is, even though Hyundai and Kia are part of the same parent company and they share engines and parts, internally, they consider themselves competitors. Both brands actually operate quite independently of each other and both have their own design studios, their own engineering, and their own sales and marketing. So Kia's GT line models are mainly about spicing up the looks. They look cool, but they don't get extra power. The GT badge is reserved for the top of the line Kia performance models. On the other hand, Hyundai's N line models aren't just about the looks. They give you extra power with the N line, and then on top of that, they have straight up N models like the Veloster N. So GT is more like N line, and there's nothing beyond GT for Kia, so there is no N version of Kia, if that makes sense. But wait, you can get this 2.5 liter 4-banger turbo in a GT line, the new Stinger GT line, and then you have the Stinger GT, which is powered by 368 horsepower V6, which is not available in the K5 GT, so never mind, forget everything that I just said. Anyway, let me give you a tour of the 2021 Kia K5 GT, and then I'll give you my opinion on what I think about it. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. I'd really appreciate it. All right, let's do this. All right, before we get into everything else, just like the Hyundai Sonata N Line, the Kia K5 GT also has launch controls, so you know we have to do it, so let's go for it. To launch control the Kia K5 GT, you have to be in Sport Plus mode, and then you hold down the traction button until you see traction and stability control disabled. And then you put your left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, all the way down. You'll see launch control ready. And just like the Sonata N Line, you can adjust the RPM that you want to launch at right from the steering wheel. So that's really cool. Wow, that's actually pretty impressive. Now, I've already tested the Kia K5 before, so you can check that review out as well if you'd like, but unlike the Kia K5 GT line that I tested, my GT test model here comes with a 10.25-inch touchscreen display with navigation. Oddly enough, if you upgrade to the 10.25-inch touchscreen display, you won't get wireless Apple CarPlay or wireless Android Auto. If you stay with the base 8-inch touchscreen display, you'll get to enjoy wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, which is absolutely weird. Now, I've shown you Kia and Hyundai's infotainment system many times before, but the one here on the K5 is a bit more stylish. Here are a few things that I've found interesting. Just like the new Genesis infotainment systems, on the home screen, you have a cool silhouette of your map navigation. It doesn't show the names of the roads, but it's just an overall map showing you where you are. I like that touch quite a bit. And then the home screen also shows you the time and the weather. And then when you swipe left, I love the retro style neon icons that you have all over. These are really cool looking. And check out these radio tuning graphics. They have a cool old school look to them, and I find that to be a very nice touch. By the way, this is the gauge cluster. Now here's the weird thing. The US market didn't get the option for the digital gauge cluster display like other markets did. And I have no idea why, but I've been told that it will be coming out into the US market next year. And then just like other Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis models, when you go into vehicle and go into doors, you have the option to turn on and off the smart trunk, which allows you to open the trunk while you approach it with the smart key. So let's see that in action. All right, so let's approach the Kia K5 GT with this extremely intelligent key and see what happens. It's beeping, and there you go. The trunk pops open. And finally, while messing around with the sound settings, I found the setting for the active sound design. Basically, that is fake engine noise being pumped into the cabin. Not much difference between normal and soft. You really feel it in strong, or hear it in strong, and in off. Off, it completely disappears. In strong, it's pretty loud. All right, next up, let's talk about pricing. Pricing for the Kia K5 GT starts at $30,590. As tested here, you're looking at $35,705. So yeah, the starting price tag of the K5 GT is about $2,700 cheaper than the Sonata N Line. But if you go for the GT1 package, and I highly recommend that you do, that pricing jumps slightly. The GT1 package will cost you an extra $4,000 and it will give you full LED headlights, and I absolutely love the design of the headlights on the K5. It will also give you ventilated front seats and a heated steering wheel, which you actually don't get on the Sonata N Line even as an option. Heated seats are actually standard. You also get memory seats, and you'll get the upgraded 10.25-inch touchscreen display with navigation, along with the 12-speaker Bose sound system that absolutely slaps. It's actually a really solid sound system. Kia's UVO link, so you can do this.
Please say the POI name or address you want to find.
Find me the nearest Dunkin' Donuts.
16 results found.
You also get a range of driver assist features, including adaptive cruise control, highway driving assist, forward collision avoidance with cyclist detection, and I couldn't find a cyclist to test that on, and much more. Now let's talk horsepower and torque. Just like the Hyundai Sonata N Line, the Kia K5 GT is also powered by a 2.5-liter four-cylinder turbo engine, making 290 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque, and that's mated to an 8-speed wet dual-clutch transmission, which shifts very fast and very smooth. And that will allow you to go from 0 to 60 in an officially quoted time of 5.8 seconds. I've actually done it in 5.2 seconds, and you have a top speed of 155 miles an hour. When it comes to fuel economy, you're looking at 24 city and 32 highway. You have a 15.8 gallon tank capacity. I'm averaging, after a couple days of driving, a total of 22.1 miles a gallon, so that's not bad at all. Let's talk exterior design of the K5 GT, because the K5 itself is one of the best looking affordable sedans on the market, and the K5 GT looks that much better. The K5 GT gets GT body styling, which makes it look sportier than the regular K5, and you also get a GT front grille version of Kia's Tiger Nose grille. I love this grille quite a bit. The K5 GT also gets upgraded 19-inch alloy wheels that actually look really cool, and then you have GT brake calipers. One of my favorite design features on the K5 are the signature heartbeat daytime running lights. And by the way, they don't actually move like this. They just look like this on camera, although I wish they really did move like this. And then you have really stylish LED taillights that have a dash design and span the width of the rear deck lid, which actually kind of reminds me of Audi. And to round it off, you have a black rear spoiler, so everybody knows that this K5 is a little bit cooler than the other K5s. And by the way, you have actual real dual exhaust, so big ups to Kia for doing that. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the way the Mazda 6 looks in this segment, but I have to say the K5 is definitely the best looking out of the whole bunch. Now, before we move on, let's check out the cargo capacity. You can pop the trunk by using the smart key feature that I showed you earlier, or you can just hit this button right here, which is probably simpler. You have 16 cubic feet, and if you're considering buying an SUV over a sedan, just really think about it. Are you really going to use all that space? And if you need more space in here, you could just pull the seats flat or lay them flat by pulling these latches right there, and you have more cargo capacity. Let's hop inside the K5 GT, and it's pretty much similar to the K5 GT line that I tested. Overall, the interior of the K5 GT is really solid, and it actually comes packed with a bunch of standard features. You get fake leather sport bucket seats with a cool GT logo, and they are heated front seats as standard. You get a flat bottom steering wheel with paddle shifters. You also get a wireless charger as standard and a giant panoramic sunroof, which really brightens up this beautiful interior quite a bit. Now, all that's cool, but I did notice that the Kia K5 GT has a little bit more hard plastic on the inside compared to the Sonata N Line. The Sonata N Line definitely uses way more soft touch materials on the inside, although you do have some fake leather wrapped here on the dash. You have soft touch materials here on the door panel, but then you look here, you have hard plastic here, hard plastic above the steering wheel, and then hard plastic down here. Although I really do like this trim on the vents right there. That's pretty cool. Let's hop in the second row and check out the rear legroom. You have 35.2 inches of rear legroom. I'm about 6 foot tall. That's my seating position. As you can see, I still have plenty of room. By the way, having vents in the back seat is a part of that $4,000 package that we discussed earlier. If you don't get that package, you don't get vents in the back. That's kind of weird. Now, before I give you my opinion on how it is to drive the Kia K5 GT, let me point out a few random things that I'll have to show all of you. You have 4 cup holders, 2 in the front, then you have 2 in the back in the center armrest right there. Here are what the keys look like for the Kia K5 GT. I love Kia's design for the keys. I do have a suggestion though. This button should be remote start and not lock, or it should be unlock because you're getting ready to go crazy. So the remote start currently is this tiny little button right here. I think remote start should be here, or that should be the unlock button. Door open and close sound from the outside and from the inside. Pretty solid. Charging game wise, you have 2 USB ports right there, one for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and one just for charging. Your wireless charger is right here, and then you also have another USB port right there. Rear passengers get 2 USB ports right there. The Kia K5 GT doesn't have USB-C ports, and I hope next year it'll get some. Let's do a quick indicator and horn sound test here on the 2021 Kia K5 GT. Indicator first. And now for the horn sound. Pretty solid. I do have another recommendation, Kia. This steering wheel looks awesome, but this plastic part here kind of takes away from the otherwise gorgeous steering wheel. So in the next generation or next model year, maybe consider upgrading that. And now that I've given you a tour of the 2021 Kia K5 GT, let me give you my opinion on what I think about it. All right, let's get to it. So in my review of the Hyundai Sonata N Line, I said that I would pick the K5 GT over it only for the fact that it looks much better. I mean, just look at this thing. Kia stealing away Audi's designers has worked out very, very well for the brand, and I think the K5 is definitely one of the best looking options in this segment. The K5 GT is very fun to drive, and that torquey 4-cylinder turbo engine just makes you want to go faster and faster. At first, a lot of people were upset that the K5 GT and the Sonata N Line don't come in all-wheel drive, and at first, I was upset too, but now, I don't care. Again, since this is a front-wheel drive car, if you're in Sport or Sport Plus mode and you're stopped and you just hit the gas, you will enjoy a lot of torque steer and a lot of tire screeching, and it makes it very fun and theatrical to drive. Handling-wise, the K5 GT is very, very impressive, just like the Sonata N Line, and I honestly think that the K5 GT and the Sonata N Line are probably the best handling options in this segment. Speaking of the competition, you have the Honda Accord 2.0, you have the Toyota Camry V6, the Mazda 6 2.5, and obviously the Sonata N Line. But if you lined up all 5 in front of me, I would go for the Kia K5 GT, hands down, without thinking twice. Well, I'd probably wait one model year until that cool digital gauge cluster display shows up, since I love tech. But yeah, the K5 GT is definitely my pick in this segment. Pricing wise, the K5 GT is $3,000 cheaper than the Sonata N Line, and you can tell a little bit of a difference here and there. The Sonata N Line is a bit classier with more soft touch materials on the inside, but the K5 GT looks much better on the outside. Also, unlike the Sonata N Line, the K5 GT comes with this awesome flat bottom steering wheel, and you can get cooled seats as an option, which you can't get in the Sonata N Line, so K5 GT it is. So how does the K5 GT compare to the upcoming 2022 Stinger GT line? There's that confusion again. Well, I can't tell you since I haven't driven the new Stinger GT line, but in the Stinger GT line, this same engine makes 10 more horsepower for a total of 300. Also, the Stinger GT line starts at around $37,000, so this is much cheaper, but obviously the Stinger GT line is a little bit better in terms of quality and drive. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I think the K5 looks better than the Stinger, in my opinion. You can disagree with me. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit like, make sure you share my content with your friends that also enjoy cars. You can follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Peace. Never thought I'd see the day when a Kia would drive like this. If you're in the market for an affordable sports sedan, make sure you get one, and you can hear that fake engine noise, and it pisses off a lot of people, but hey, everyone does that these days.